Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, January the 8th, 2024. And the moon that sets the emotional public tone is in extroverted, fiery, enthusiastic Sagittarius. So it's a good energy to really start the new work week. However, decision-making, communication, Mercury will be in a square, a stressful angle to Neptune. So communications may be fuzzy, there might be some misunderstandings, you might be not being told the whole truth because there's a lot of this kind of confusing avoidance energies. So just take everything with a grain of salt. And with that Sag moon, you might be inclined to jump in and get excited, but I'm saying stop and breathe and think before making any important decisions. On Tuesday, the 9th, the moon in Sag, outgoing Sag, will go void of course at 10:25 a.m. Pacific time till 5:33 p.m. I talk about this usually every week. The void of course is when the moon is changing from one sign to the next, because after it's done being void at 5:33 p.m., the moon goes into practical, corporate, conventional Capricorn, because it's an earth sign, it's earthy, it's stable. But during the void of course period is when the moon is changing signs, just before it changes signs, but it's not making any aspects to other planets, so the energy is flat. So you wouldn't want to start anything new because that flat energy is unproductive. But it is favorable to just keep on, the routine, stay the course, keep what you've been doing. And there's some really good energies here. The sun is in harmony with progressive and Uranus. The sun maybe twice a year, putting this very favorable spotlight on all things Uranian. Technology, inventions, science, thinking out of the box, trying something all new and exciting. As Mars, ambitious, assertive Mars, will be in harmony with pragmatic Saturn. That Saturn will help focus the Mars to accomplish any work task. Now, with the moon void of course, with all this positive energy, it's good for amping up, continuing with what you've been doing. Just don't, during the void of course, begin an important new project. Or certainly wait until after 5:33 p.m. Pacific time. Wednesday, the moon continues in Capricorn. Capricorn is all this conventional, traditional, practical, sensible energies. It keeps you realistic. It keeps you grounded. Because on Thursday, the 11th, will be a new moon in Capricorn. The new moon, there's one every 4 weeks, and wherever the new moon falls in your chart, that's where your priorities or intention is being drawn to for that next month. This new moon is going to be, for the general public, very harmonious, because it's going to be trining the best flow of energy to liberating progressive Uranus. So that brings in a lot of exciting new energies. And it's also forming an influence to Neptune. That Neptune can be empathetic, can be charitable, can be this inspiring creative energies. But the new moon, excellent with Uranus, is trying to bring in exciting new opportunities. And if you're looking to get into more technology, a website, getting new computers, software, and you would be more excited and more open about the whole technical process. On Friday, the moon is now in Aquarius. Aquarius is so different than when it was in Capricorn or the Capricorn new moon. Capricorn tends to be very traditional, very conventional, where Aquarius, which is ruled or associated with eclectic Uranus, the moon in Aquarius is much more unconventional, more open to the alternative. But it's also inclining one to look more towards the future. Mars, ambitious, assertive Mars, the warrior planet in mythology, Mars will be trining the best flow of energy to Jupiter. Jupiter, all that protection, luck, opportunity. Mars, work, going after your goals. So Mars, excellent with Jupiter, can bring in very successful work projects or being able to achieve any of your goals. So starting a new project, starting a new job, this would be an excellent time, especially as we just had the new moon, helping us be more open to new ideas and thinking out of the box. Saturday, the 13th, the moon in quirky, scientific, progressive Aquarius goes void of course for most of the day, from 1:59 a.m. Pacific time till 7:29 p.m. Pacific time. This is a long time. So all of Saturday, for most of you, depending on whether the time zone, is with the void of course again. Do not initiate any important new projects. Don't, go job hunting as during the moon void of course. But like I said earlier on Tuesday, with the moon void of course then, it is just stay the course, stick to the routine. And it can be very favorable for meditation, for introspection, for reflection. On Sunday, the 14th, now the moon is in Pisces. When the moon was in Aquarius, the emotional response, that's the moon. Aquarius tends to be more impersonal, more intellectual, more like analyzing and talking about your feelings. When the moon once a month goes into Pisces, you're more in your feelings. You're coming more from the heart, more sensitivity, more compassion. And it's a highly creative energies. And the moon in the early morning, 5-6 a.m. Pacific time, will be in harmony with expansive Jupiter. If you're off to the airport Sunday morning, or any type of starting off a trip, Jupiter rules traveling, expansion, and protection. Later, a couple hours later, from about 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific time, now that emotional moon will be in harmony with assertive Mars. So you're feeling more motivation, more drive to achieve work goals. Could be very favorable with the Mars, the athletic warrior energies, to be more physically active, working out at the gym, gathering friends and family for some physical sports activity. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.